with Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, debt collection, what is legal and what is not. And in the second watch, exploring Jamaica's participation in the not so traditional sport. For our social media question, we ask, what non-traditional sport would you love to see Jamaica participate and excel in? What non-traditional sport would you love to see Jamaica participate in and excel in? Please share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your response later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
Today's I quote is an integrity quote, and it says, "The right way is not always the popular and easy way." And this one is by Margaret Chase Smith.
Good morning, Jokal.
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing well. I trust you are also well.
I'm doing well, yes.
All right, let's go right into it. The first watch will be back after this.
When you sweat, you lose more than water. That's why Gatorade has fluids to hydrate, electrolytes to replenish, and carbs to fuel. For over 50 years, Gatorade has been studying sweat to understand what the body loses and what it needs. We have sweat down to a science. Gatorade. Sweat is glory.
5 fantastic finalists, 1 title. Who will be Jamaica's 3rd gospel star? Your vote will help to decide the winner. Come out in your numbers for the grand finale on Wednesday, August 2 at 8 p.m. at the National Arena, or watch it live on CBN TV, PBCJ, or JCDC social media platforms. Voting closes Tuesday, August 1 at 6 p.m. Sponsored by the Chase Fund, the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, PICA, Airports Authority of Jamaica, Socia, CPTC, Universal Service Fund, Digicel, and Phase 3.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Charvet Distribution Limited, in association with New Vision Faith Apostolic Ministries, presents Gospel Celebration with Dietrich Haddon, Sherwin Gardner, Kevin Downswell, Rhoda Isabella, Petra Kay, Sister Pat, and others. Friday, July 28th at Sugarman Beach Shelter at 6 p.m. 5,000 pre-sold, 5,500 at the gate. VIP 9,000. Get your tickets at Gina, St. Diego, and York Pharmacies. New Vision Faith Apostolic Ministries International and SpurOpen.com. Info lines 876-314-6243 and 876-861-5546. It's a gospel celebration.
Entering Tang Make It Big promotion is so easy. From June 19 to September 9, participate for a chance to win over $1 million in cash and prizes, including smartphone, smart TV, and laptop, or be one of 3 monthly winners of $100,000. Just buy any 6 packs of any flavor of Tang. You have 4 ways to enter: www.tangpromotion.com, WhatsApp 876-571-9645, PO Box Mail number 2010 CSO, or in-store Dropbox. Grand prize draw September 22. Enter now and win. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, a video of the CEO of a loan company promising to collect loan by saying, and I quote, "We're going to find you and take all that you have," end of quote, has been making the rounds on social media. The video has sparked questions such as, what are the legal and illegal ways of debt collection? Do borrowers have rights? And if so, what are they? Well, to answer these and other questions, we have online Mr. Michael Diamond, President of Consumers Intervention Jamaica. He's also an attorney at law. And Mr. Trevor Samuels, PRO and past President of National Consumer League. Good morning to you both.
Hi, good morning to everybody. Good morning to our listeners.
Good morning.
Mr. Diamond, are you there?
Yes, are you hearing me? Good morning.
Yes, hearing you. Good morning to you both. All right, gentlemen, anecdotally, how widespread is the need for debt collection in Jamaica today? Beginning with you, Mr. Samuel.
Debt collection. Okay, I don't have any exact figures on debt collection, but from, you only collect from people who are in default of your agreement. But I know that there are many persons out there which offer that service to people who lend money. For example, there are several bailiffs, who can go in fact and collect debt from people who are owing. But there are laws that govern the operations, and there are things that they must conform with some before you can go and collect somebody's debt. And that video, I have not seen the video, but I don't think the law allows you to take everything from the person. I'm sure that could never be a law that is on the books. You can only take, as far as I know, to the value of the debt outstanding.
Yeah. Mr. Diamond, your opening thoughts on that? How widespread do you think it is?
Well, it's definitely something that is widespread due to the fact that that is a sector that is pretty much underregulated. And what I can tell you is that a high percentage of those activities, especially where individuals are purporting to be bailiffs when they're actually not, high percentage of those activities are quite unlawful. So we are at a very important point right now where we should be looking at regulating that particular sector once and for all.
Well, serious thing you mentioned there. Yeah, before I go back to Mr. Samuel, Mr. Diamond, you mentioned about bailiffs persons pretending to be bailiffs.
Okay, here's the thing. A lot of this has to do with cultural stereotypes, and a cultural stereotype is that once individuals, are in debt, they take the position that they'll attempt to hide from their creditors or lenders, unfortunately, rather than reaching out to resolve the issue. So when you have organizations and financial institutions that hire the services of individuals purporting to be debt collectors, they are quite emboldened by the fact that they're underregulated. Some of them require no license or experience other than to intimidate. So I got a chance to see that video that was circulating, and that individual speaking was quite emboldened, and much of what was said was quite unlawful. So the idea of it is that since she's been in business so many years, she has basically gotten to the point where she believes that she's untouchable because most consumers shy away from seeking to find out what are their rights under these circumstances. Just because you are a debtor doesn't mean that you are without rights. As a matter of fact, you have rights before the transaction, during the transaction, even post transaction, you have rights as a debtor. So it's very important to know that we need to do something right now as far as regulation is concerned.
All right. You mentioned, Mr. Diamond, about things being full in that video. The views expressed are definitely yours, but not necessarily those of Love FM. Mr. Samuels, as far as you are aware, what are some other legal and illegal practices associated with debt collection in Jamaica today?
Well, first and foremost, the debt collector must be a licensed debt collector, because sometimes some of them work through the courts or some large organizations which are reputable organizations. And sometimes, they are permitted by the courts to go and collect debt, but there are certain legal requirements. First and foremost, you can't just go into a person's house without a notice and say you're a bailiff, you're going to collect debt, because that would be tantamount to stealing the person's goods. So therefore, usually a bailiff is sent out after notice has been given that you are in default by the person you got the loan from, whether that's paying for goods or paying for a motor vehicle or paying whatever it is. And usually the courts give the bailiff the permission or the authority to go and collect after notice has been served to the person who owes.
So the notice must be sent first.
The notice, as far as the Hire Purchase Act is concerned, looking at that one, there must be a notice to say that all right, you are in default and you have 7 days in which to make restitution to payment. So therefore, we are going to, after 7 days, as far as I see the law and the thing here, after 7 days, if you don't come in and do what you have to do to get your debt cleared, then you are at the mercy of the bailiff. And the bailiff can seize whatever, goods you have. But I don't think it is the law allows them to take more than the value of what is owed.
Now, in terms of the bailiff, Mr. Samuel, any identification that needs to be born?
The bailiff must be properly registered and present an identification, sufficient identification to say, yes, I am the bailiff. And you have been served notice and I come to repossess the goods that you have taken or whatever it is. But you must be legally registered under the law as a bailiff. So if this lady is not registered under the law and she has been operating like that, then steps should be taken to have her reined in, to deal with her. Because if she's not a registered bailiff under the law, then, I'm sure that, steps can be taken to have her addressed somehow or other, for want of a better word. But usually, there are organizations in Jamaica which can assist, if you run into problems. One of the first things that you need to do is to go to the person who lend you the goods or the money or whatever it is and have to talk with them. Maybe they can be lenient and give you more time to pay. But first and foremost, one of the first things you must never do is, if you owe this money and you can't pay it, is to sit by and allow yourself to just go like that. First and foremost, if you go to a furniture store, for example, and into things on hire purchase, and you know that you run into difficulty, because people run into difficulty for some reason or other, go to the manager and have a word with them first and foremost. And maybe they can reschedule your debt, but make sure that the bailiff is the last, resort that you have to go to. So therefore, go to the purchase, the vendor that you purchase your goods from, and I'm sure they will have ways and means of probably rescheduling your debt or giving you advice on how to do it. Or you can have an amicable resettlement with them that they take out the goods, on good terms. So there are lots of things that you can do. And, don't wait until everything runs, out of line before you start taking that step.
Right. Just
go before, yes.
Yeah, you're talking about schedule. We're up on a break. We'll be right.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Summer your
your way with Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan this summer and open the doors to your dream destination. The perfect home renovation or prep for back to school and so much more. Enjoy competitive rates, flexible loan terms, and no payments for up to 2 months. Use your plan loan to unlock your perfect summer break. Apply for your Scotia Plan loan today and have summer your way with Scotiabank. Visit jm.scotiabank.com or call 888-472-6842 for further details.
Global Spiritual Warriors Summit, the gathering of spiritual warriors from Jamaica and around the world, coming to trample the gates of hell. Wake up and join God's ambassadors to deliver the nation from the enemy. Kingston, July 24th, 25th, 26th, 29th at Fellowship Tabernacle, and Sunday, July 30th at Arise Shine Apostolic and Deliverance Ministries. Montego Bay, July 27th, Bertrand Memorial Baptist, Mandeville, July 28th, Fellowship Tabernacle, starting at 10 a.m. Call 876-823-9365 for more.
Need a qualified counseling psychologist to help you navigate life and challenges? Call Andre Allen Casey with over 10 years of experience in resolving relational issues, therapeutic interventions for couples, families, and individuals. Andre Allen Casey, licensed associate counseling psychologist with offices at 20 West Kings House Road, Kingston 10. Open Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Telephone or WhatsApp 876-360-6594. Or email AndreAllen_Casey at yahoo.com. Andre Allen Casey, counseling with a difference.
Hey, my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider the use of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes says status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, only to really long life our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Do an HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes say your status clear. Really long life our story. Really long life for say you coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Cheesy Zulu, hey, hey, the cheese is not for you and you. Crispy, crunchy and cheesy right through. Mildly cheesy flavor, well tasty. Cheesy Zulu from the Butterkiss family. Try the sticks or the curl. Cheesy Zulu, the new boss, looking at this young world. Mildly cheesy flavor, well tasty. Cheesy Zulu from the Butterkiss family. New Cheesy Zulu Super Cheese Snacks, made by Sepra, must be good.
Make money now with the local City and Guilds and ABE endorsed certificates and Distinction College. Start new online and face-to-face classes very soon in our Make Money Now career courses and get qualified jobs worldwide or start your own business in practical pediatric, geriatric, and psychiatric nursing, phlebotomy and pharmacy technician, early childhood education, childcare, cashiering, call center, event planning, receptionist, customer service, housekeeping, laboring, food preparation, bartending, cake baking, plumbing, modern labor, electrical installation, air conditioning, makeup, hairdressing, nail technician, and cosmetology. No subjects required, no age limits. Register this week and get City and Guilds Maths and English classes for free. Call us at 3564167.
Nestle Clean Fun Fest Family Festival is fun can done thanks to our partners Nestle Nestum, Nestle Lactogen 3, CB Food, Honeybun, New Pack, Crown Water, Big Up, Jamdex, Love FM, and Nestle Clean Growing Up Milk. Come enjoy Fun Fest Family Festival with family, friends, and fun. Tuesday, August 1st, Emancipation Day at Hope Gardens. Gates open at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come out early. Fun Fest.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the first watch, we're looking on the whole matter of debt collection. We're asking what is legal and what is not. In so doing, we have online Mr. Trevor Samuels, PRO and the past president of the National Consumers League, and Mr. Michael Diamond, attorney at law and president of Consumers Intervention Jamaica. Mr. Diamond, in the first half of this segment, you had emphasized the whole matter of the bailiff, because you're saying that some persons pretend to be bailiffs. What other concerns do you have in regards to debt collection?
Well, definitely there are several regulations that come into play. You know, you do have the Consumer Protection Act, you do have the Data Protection Act, and you also have the Microcredit Act, which was enacted recently. And what this is attempting to do is to regulate some of these microfinance institutions. Now, good things happen. Good, there are bad things that happen to good people, and individuals that entered into these transactions now falls into default for whatever reason, especially since COVID. And these institutional organizations, they have a process and they go after defaulters. Now, they may enlist the services of companies claiming to be debt collectors, but these debt collectors are not required to be licensed. So the only individuals that are empowered to do such are the court bailiffs or vendor bailiffs under the Bailiffs Act. Many of these individuals do not operate under that act. That act is very specific, and there aren't enough bailiffs in Jamaica to exercise some of these things that's been going on. So what happens is that you have individuals who would just simply give a notice to an unwitting consumer and says, "Hey, a bailiff came by this particular name." And when you investigate it, you find out that the individual is not a registered bailiff. So that impersonation is one. Also, you're not allowed to give false, misleading statements in the pursuit or collection of a debt, and oftentimes that is what is done. You have individuals who are assigned debts, whether it be from a bank or other lending institutions, and there are specific requirements that are supposed to be done and the notices that are supposed to be given to the consumer. So there are so many things that are going on right now in the consumer because they don't fully know their rights. They are subjected to this type of abuse. I've heard horror stories of these thugs, and that's the only thing you can call them, are thugs, when they're unregulated and unlicensed, and they're purporting to be what they're not. And these thugs are entering into premises and violating people's rights. So one of the things that we look at is the fact that having so many regulations that must be upheld, how are these individuals just simply wantonly going around claiming to be violating people's rights, and we haven't set these regulations in place? As of today, there isn't a specific debt collection act in Jamaica to regulate how these individuals operate. So oftentimes it falls on the other laws in order to address the breaches that are occurring.
Hmm. That's a serious statement. No specific debt collection act, you said?
Absolutely. There's no specific act. We have what was enacted in 2010 Credit Reporting Act that went into effect in 2011. But since there has not been a mirrored act for debt collections that would regulate a lot of these individuals that are in the industry that are violating consumers. So when we get that type of framework, a lot of these individuals will have to, fall to the wayside. Now, let's be clear, everyone has a moral obligation to satisfy these loans that they enter into, but two wrongs do not make a right. And oftentimes when a consumer is on the wrong end of it, then a lot of these organizations continue to violate the law because, again, lack of regulation, lack of accountability. So just because you're in debt, it doesn't mean that they can do whatever they choose to do. Once you're dealing with situations like this, first you'd have to find out what actually are the terms and conditions of the particular transaction, what are the notice requirements, because eventually you may end up in a situation in court. Breaching your peace or entering into your premises cannot just wantonly be done just because you sign an agreement. There has to be a court order in order for this to happen, and oftentimes those notices for you to appear to court was never sent to you in the first place. So there are so many violations that occur that the consumers are unaware of, and that's why we need these regulations.
Hear you loud and clear. Mr. Samuels, let's look at the other end of the spectrum. What about the loan agencies? Because they have rights too, don't they?
Of course, yes. All right. Well, first and foremost, the vendor and the debtor, whatever you call it, the borrower, that is, when they go to get these loans, first and foremost, I think you should start your planning, your financial planning, even before you start to consider a loan. And a loan probably should be one of the last resorts that you can go to. Now, most people have to take a loan because we don't have enough money to get what we want in the first instance. But when you go, you have to, most of the reputable organizations, if you're going to purchase anything from them, there is a contract which you have to sign. And people just willy-nilly just take the ads on television or whatever it is and say, oh man, this looks good. But when they go in to make the actual purchase, they don't look at what the law says and what is printed in the fine print of your contract. And if you're not aware of that, you shouldn't just go sign a contract. I don't know what you're signing. because sometimes most of the important information is written in the fine print. And I think the fine print part of it with the most important information, I think it is now outlawed, but it still happens. Most people just say, okay, I know this company, it sounds good.
What is outlawed, Mr.?
No, I think they are outlawing the fine prints.
Oh?
The very fine prints. And no, it's not. It's still around. Yes, I don't think it has gone into law as such. But they discourage people from putting the fine prints, even on labels for that matter, but you can read them. Yeah. And the contract must be in English, and if you don't understand it, ask. And that is one of the, these are some of the things that you have to do before you start thinking of getting a loan. Because purchasing goods and hire purchase is technically a loan as well, or purchasing a car or whatever it is. Even your house and a mortgage, you should know what is written in your contract before you even go there. And you should have your financial planning to know, can I afford this thing? Should I defer it for a little while? Or, is it so necessary that I must get it now? Or am I just swayed by the lovely ads that I see in the media or, hear about other people saying? Because it can be very embarrassing to the person when they have to come and seize your goods. And if you notice, some places I see cars being repossessed, and it means that maybe the person who fell into some misfortune afterwards, which you didn't anticipate. But maybe you had hung your basket too high, as they say in Jamaica, which you can't reach, and you overreach yourself, that you cannot, think of all the, the obligations, financial obligations that you have, and you run into problems. Yes. So therefore, the first thing to do is to plan yourself properly to see, can I afford this? Do I need this now? Or am I just seeing somebody else with something else and I need it, as well? These are where you start from. So when you go into a place that offers you these goods on hire purchase, or your loan, whatever it is that you're taking, make sure that you understand carefully and you know what you have a sort of good idea of what your future in your money earning capacity is like. You can service this loan without any problem. Don't overreach yourself in the first instance. Because remember, there is another organization which is called the Credit Bureau. Mm-hmm. And this can be, this can hurt you if you find your name there, because it can hurt your chances of getting a loan in the future, whether through hire purchase or through a mortgage or whatever it is that you want to get to borrow. So therefore, make sure that if you run into difficulties, as I said before, check the person that you get the money from. Yeah. And remember that there are some places, some microcredit organizations, which have very high interest rates. And another thing that you have to be careful of is the same credit card, because it is tempting to overreach yourself because you're not passing cash at the same time. But when the interest rate take you on those credit cards, it can be very, very painful, because their interest rates and those things are very, very high. And you have to take all that into consideration before you spend your money. Make sure that you do your homework. Yes. Before you run into problems.
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Yes.
Mr. Diamond, you're an attorney at law. As you know, what Mr. Samuel said a while ago was key. But as you know, some of the jargon, some of the words, some of the phraseologies, some of the, statements in the contract, especially the fine print, not known by the common man and woman. How does one deal with that?
It's going to be a challenge just because of that, the language. And of course, some of our consumers believe that the language was deliberately placed that way to confuse you. Now, a couple of things to look for is that whenever you're going to sign a contract, if it requires you to put your signature on the back, that should be a red flag to you. A red flag is that you're signing your signature on the page where the terms and conditions aren't. So always look out for that. Secondly, if it is too confusing, that's also a red flag. The contract law requires that you must knowingly enter into an agreement. So if it's written in confusing language, you could not knowingly enter it into. And of course,
1 minute, Mr. Diamond. 1 minute, okay? Go ahead. You have only 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, and basically what we have is that you do have the right to cancel agreements. So you have to look at what the terms and conditions are. That's the most important part of your agreement, because you need to know what your responsibilities are and what their responsibilities are. We discourage borrowing, but if you have to borrow, we want to make sure that consumers are protected. So reputable organizations are the best place to start. The reason why we have so many micro lenders or loan sharks is because the process and the procedures for those institutions are so stringently set by the Bank of Jamaica. So these loan sharks come in to give you these high interest rate loans because again, it's very under-regulated and they can do exactly what they want to do as thugs
Have to leave it
because
there.
consumers do not pursue to find out what their rights are.
Yeah. Have to leave it there, Mr. Diamond and Mr. Samuels. Thanks for joining
Yes,
us. Very
thanks for having us, and I am sure that we will enlighten a few
Yeah, man,
consumers
very
out there.
informative. Have a stay.
So always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Listeners, the morning watch will return in just a moment.
With Bank, anything possible with a little savings in your hand.
The time by Jan Bank is
7:30.
Is a tapa summer with flow, with tapa winnings at the let's go. Activate a 5-day plan and more rush cash, tapa winnings are flow.
Win over $300,000 weekly when you switch to Flow or activate a 5-day or higher plan. Tap to jump over the hurdles and win prizes instantly. Or win tablets, smartphones, supermarket vouchers, and more. Everybody wins every time.
Flow tapa summer, winnings them tapa, the price don't stop.
Dial *129*6 number sign or download the Top Up Flow app to activate. Conditions apply.
It's the Home and Things Anniversary Sale. We're kicking off celebrations with big discounts on all your favorite items. Enjoy up to 50% off tiles, bathroom fixtures, faucets, vanities, shower enclosures, lighting, home decor, and more. We're celebrating quality and style as we say thank you, Jamaica, for 25 years of love and support. The Home and Things Anniversary Sale, Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Let's celebrate because Jamaica builds with Home and Things.
Get the peace of mind and flexibility to secure the precious things in life. The Guardian Extendable Term Series gives you pure insurance protection for specific periods of time. A Guardian Extendable Term policy provides protection benefits such as the replacement of loss of income and to service your mortgage loan in the event the family's breadwinner is affected. Contact us today to learn more about the Guardian Extendable Term policy. Guardian Life.
Let's Guardian your life.
The #1 paint for over 70 years, Berger has created a line of products that cannot be outperformed. Scientifically formulated for both interior and exterior surfaces, Berger paints are quick-drying, safer for you and the environment, and specifically designed to withstand our harsh tropical weather conditions. Now with over 2,000 colors and the ability to mix any custom color you want. Berger paints are simply unmatched. Choose Berger for lasting beauty and protection.
All-American Institute of Medical Sciences, AIMS, a top-ranking medical school, 66 High Street, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Programs on offer include Associate Degree in Health Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Optometry, and the Doctor of Medicine. Low student-to-faculty ratio, low tuition costs with up to 40% scholarships for Jamaica Nationals, USMLE courses, www.aims.edu.jl, 876-634-4068. AIMS, medical education par excellence. Still accepting applications for September 2023.
Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on Love 101, you're invited to listen to Good Morning Minister, a weekly feature where government ministers will speak about the development in their various ministries. Listen for the updates and have your questions and concerns ready to share inside Good Morning Minister as the Minister of Information, Robert Nesta Morgan, and a guest minister or agency head discuss the issues and take your questions and suggestions. Get ready to call in during Good Morning Minister, 11 a.m. on Wednesdays, right here on Love 101, the family station.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing in the Gleaner. Mutinous soldiers claim to have overthrown Niger's president. Also in the Gleaner, Mission Impossible, or improbable, rather. Highly unlikely, but not impossible, for dead vote, say current and former EOJ head. In the Observer, courage under fire. DPP defends stewardship, urges JPs to focus on public service. Also in the Observer, about turn. Daryl Vaz to withdraw censure motion as Golding retracts dead voters comment. In Loop News, music is bigger than misbehavior, or get rid of profanity law. And in Loop News as well, we see man orders box food, then fatally shoots restaurant owner. Those are some of the stories in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. What non-traditional sport would you love to see Jamaica participate and excel in? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
This is a special announcement from Love 101. Our general offices will be closed to the public on Friday, July 28 at 12 p.m. and reopen on Monday, July 31 at 8:30 a.m. Programs and commercials, obituaries, and notices should be submitted by Friday, July 28 at 10 a.m. to ensure scheduling for broadcast. This is to facilitate Love 101's I Love Summer broadcast this Friday, July 28 from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. We thank you for your usual cooperation.
Let's get up and go. Time to explore.
One already to our move. I Love Summer will be coming to the Halfway Tree Transport Center this Friday, July 28th from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. for stop number 6. Hosted by me, Jokal Dyer, Jukes with the Looks, and Sarah and the Chirpy One.
Don't miss the ILS pre-show with a special edition of Alive with Sarah Ann alongside our resident DJ Rebirth. We double the fun with more music, more games, giveaways, and live entertainment. From 1 to 5 p.m., hear performances from CAG Family, Truth, and the JCDC Gospel Star Top 5.
And if you thought that we were finished, we're just getting started. Save for the Gospel Concert featuring Kevin Downswell,
John Mark Wigan,
Travell Clark Wine, and Prince Saj, with hosts Ella the Voice and Sister Girl Sophie.
Not to mention our sponsors Distinction College and Institute of International Recognized Qualification IIRQ, who will have discounted registrations. Geddes and Blue Ribbon will be offering free samples. Come sign up for your Price Smart membership. You don't want to miss this exciting and fun-filled day this Friday, July 28th from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m.
at the Halfway Tree Transport Center, and it will be live on Love 101, the family station.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jokal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. What non-traditional sport would you love to see Jamaica participate and excel in? Jokal.
All right, so Monica said rowing and rugby, and also synchronized swimming. For rugby, I believe we already do have a rugby team, so that is on the way and that is being done.
Synchronized swimming, yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. Sharida Levy says skating. So I'm assuming this is either ice skating or roller skating. So yes, skating.
Yeah.
But that's the end that we have here, yes.
Yeah, right. Non-traditional sports. Thanks for those who responded. We appreciate it. As we segue into the second watch, lately we have been hearing of Jamaicans being involved and in some cases doing well in sports such as lacrosse, gymnastics, squash, and fencing. It is against this background that in this, the second watch, we'll be exploring Jamaica's participation in non-traditional sports. And so to discuss this topic, we have joining us Mr. Calbert Hutchinson, President of the Jamaica Lacrosse Association, and Ms. Celia French, sports commentator. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am well, and you?
I'm blessed, thank you.
Great. Good to have you both with us as we talk about these non-traditional sports and Jamaica's involvement. Mr. Hutchinson, let's begin with you. What really is lacrosse, and how is it played?
Well, lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in the world, and right now it seems to be the fastest growing sport in Jamaica. It's a very simple game. It was originated by the indigenous peoples of Canada, the Haudenosaunee, and it was taken over by the Europeans, commercialized within the mostly the Ivy League schools in America, back in Europe as well. It's pretty much similar to a crossover between, say, football, basketball, hockey. You have a stick, you have a net at the end. There's a ball that you use that stick with the net at the end to catch and pass. You have 4 quarters, you have 11 people per team, and you make changes along the way. You can be get a foul, get ejected out of the game. So it's a very engaging, exciting game, and that is what has captivated the youth of Jamaica to the point where we're now the fastest growing sport in Jamaica.
Okay, lacrosse. Okay, a crossover. Yes. Miss French, generally speaking, how has Jamaica been doing in catching on to non-traditional sports?
Well, we have been doing absolutely great. You spoke about squash, which has been here for a long time, and we have had quite a number of persons doing well. Karen Anderson, Chris Binney, those persons were doing well. Gymnastics, Nicole Grant, the president of the Gymnastics Association, she came on board and she ensured or is ensuring that gymnastics goes out there. If you're in a school, you can join her gymnastic club. And as it relates to even fencing, persons who are interested in the sports, just like lacrosse, come to Jamaica and they develop the sport. They see the talent and they go at the talent. And then, what do you know? We have a national team. Yeah. So it has been going absolutely great. We have basketball as well. That has been going well. It is, but Jamaicans not really. Yes, but Jamaicans not really love sport too much. That is one of my problem. I don't think that we love sport so much that we'll go out for the games, any game at all. I think it's all about the hype that comes with it, even for track and field, the traditional sports. Yeah.
And by the way, for those who don't know, I may have forgotten. Fencing is what? A sword or something like that?
Yes.
A miniature sword?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Mr. Hutchinson?
Yes, sir.
What are some of the opportunities and obstacles associated with Jamaicans playing non-traditional sports?
For lacrosse, the opportunities are many. And let me start by just talking about a reasonable alternative than the traditional sports for youth. The traditional sports are.
Let me pause you right there. We're going into a break, so I don't want to trouble your thoughts. So Hold that thought. I'll be right back.
Sardine for the chef and the beginner. Follow the pan with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarket, everybody
Great sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is
7:45.
Focused on you. Hey, family, friends, passion, joy. We're focused on you. Focus on life, focus on love, focus on health. None of the above. Imperial Optical is focused on you. Hey, Imperial Optical Jamaica, focused on you. From Tyrus Riley.
Okay, class. What is the best way to collect back to school MoneyGram money transfers?
Mimi?
Yes, Abigail.
Alliance, miss?
Correct.
Pick up a minimum of US $150 at any Alliance agent for a chance to win back to school prizes. 3 winners per parish of a $40,000 book voucher, a Samsung tablet, or a $20,000 book voucher.
Tell me where you get the money transferred.
Alliance!
A member of Sagicor Group Jamaica. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
As a flow technician, the best part of the job is connecting families and communities to the internet. And we're committed to delivering the service you deserve. We are addressing your challenges. Our team has proactively visited over 10,000 homes to ensure that you have a reliable experience inside and out. And we're not stopping there. My name is Cleveland, and I'm a proud flow technician.
Everything we are doing is inspired by our harshest critic. You join Jamaica's Fiberfast network and rediscover flow today.
For 51 years, Under the Law has been helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Tuesday by the Tourism Product Development Company Limited, enhancing and developing Jamaica's tourism product. Under the Law at 6:20 a.m., 2:35, 6:45, and at 9:10 p.m. on Love 101 FM.
My kids are growing up in a rapidly changing world. They amaze me every day with their curiosity and passion for wanting to create a better future for us all. The government is investing in Jamaicans through the STEM scholarship program. Now, my kids have the opportunity to pursue studies in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to get certified as STEM professionals. And yours can too. Find out more at www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships. Sign up for a STEM scholarship today.
The other day, me at the supermarket buying some groceries. When me reach the cashier, she said,
Cashier card.
Me look at her and say, cash give you travel points, cash give you cash back, cash give you rewards. Lady no must card. I pay for everything with my Sagicor Bank credit card. Grocery, gas, bills. Cause when you use your card, you get your reward.
Sir, stop all up the line.
Sorry, miss. Earn the best rewards ever with Sagicor Bank credit cards. Visit sagicor.com to apply today. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in the second watch, we have been looking at the whole matter of Jamaica's participation in not-so-traditional sports. In so doing, we have online Celia French, sports commentator, and Calbert Hutchinson, president of the Jamaica Lacrosse Association. Before the break, Mr. Hutchinson, I had interrupted your train of thought somewhat. I'd asked you what are some of the opportunities and obstacles associated with Jamaica playing non-traditional sports such as lacrosse.
Thank you again, Darlan. I was saying in terms of the opportunities, it's a reasonable alternative to those traditional sports. I was saying that like track and field and football, they're oversaturated, and it is highly unlikely for the majority of youngsters, men and women, boys and girls, to get into the top tier of those sports within the school system. So what lacrosse does, it provides a meaningful alternative for those athletes who does not make it to the top tier. In terms of opportunities, as again, we have a viable and active engaging high school lacrosse league that they get to compete in, and based on their overall performance in that high school lacrosse league, we have the training squad for the under 19 national team that is a feeder program for our national program as well. They have the opportunity of participating in world championships, the under 19 world championships, the senior world championships, and most importantly, in terms of opportunities, they have that opportunity for full and partial scholarships to study overseas and to play lacrosse for universities and colleges overseas. Right now, we have over a dozen young men and women in the US studying full time and playing lacrosse full time with full and partial scholarships.
Wow.
In terms of the obstacles, it's the same for almost every single non-traditional sport, and we see it play out in the media every year when there's a world championship or a regional event where funding is just non-existent. The support from corporate Jamaica is like non-existent, and you have to be pulling on various arms of the government to get some sort of support, and it really create a lot of stress on the volunteer groups that are normally running these organizations.
Interesting. I don't know if Miss French wants to say anything and have to comment on anything there that was said.
As it relates to the sponsorship, like Mr. Hutchinson said, it stresses out the organizations when they cannot get the support of corporate Jamaica. And I'm not sure why. I think people gravitate towards the winning or the winnings. So if you're not winning, they don't necessarily want to. Say that again?
And well known.
And well known, exactly. Yeah. They don't want to put in their funding. And I mean, I can understand that. But at the same time, if we don't fund the youngsters, we won't even know or give them the chance to go out there and blossom. Then we're not going to know if they can really do it and win. So we need the support of corporate Jamaica.
Yeah. And with you, Ms. French, as a sports commentator, what are some of the challenges you face when doing commentary on non-traditional sports?
Well, to be honest, I have not done any commentary on non-traditional sports like lacrosse and the sports that are here, squash, gymnastics, fencing. I have done absolutely nothing as it relates to those, so it would be very hard to give you
and why is that?
an answer.
Why is that? Persons have not asked your views on that? Or why is that?
That is so. I have not been asked to come to these events or...
French, if I might just chime in right here. I'm sending out an invitation right now, and this speaks about the growth of lacrosse, not just, as I said before, in Jamaica, but regionally. We will be hosting an historic event in Jamaica this November between the 9th to 11th of November. The Palace Sixes event, where we have 13 countries coming to Jamaica to represent 28 teams, men and women, the first time ever. So we're looking to welcome over 500 participants in Jamaica for the first time, where we're going to have a lacrosse explosion at the Michael University College.
You give Miss French a personal
invitation.
to come and have that and commentate for the first time for a non-traditional sport.
Yes. Definitely. I asked Miss French because I'm just wondering how often are commentators with these non-traditional sports anyway?
To be honest, for me, I'll talk about me. I can't speak of anybody else, but we're not. I am not there. I'm nowhere near. So just like Mr. Hutchinson always giving me the invitation to be at lacrosse, then definitely I will jump on it and take it up, because I have no other choice but to jump on it and take it up, Mr. Hutchinson. So I will be there.
We're happy to be a part of the process.
Yes, thank you, Love 101.
Yeah, anytime. Mr. Hutchinson, as we wind on our discussion, and then Miss French, what advice would you give them to those considering participating in further in such sports?
My advice is, and it's going to come from my observation, non-traditional sports like lacrosse, we provide the greatest growth potential for prospective sponsors and for government. And when I say the greatest growth potential, I'm talking about especially if the sport is new and upcoming, and we have uh, just a few countries participating within the world. Um, we're at a point where we can invest and develop the sport within our country that will create a wave within the world stage. In terms of number of students participating in that sport, it provides way more opportunities for students participating other than those traditional sports. And a lot of times it is best to invest early than late. And when you invest early, you see a greater return on your investment later down than if you choose to come in late. And this is the advice that I give to corporate Jamaica, to government entities, and to people who want to get involved in non-traditional sport. We provide the greatest growth potential for our youth and for sport development generally.
And you mentioned the youth. Anything you want to say in particular to them? Because many are undoubtedly gravitating toward the traditional sports, where the champs, the everything, the athletics in terms of running and the football and all of that. For obvious reasons. What do you say to them? No,
I will say to them that over the last 8 years, this is it. Our youth have gotten the opportunity to participate in World Championship in Israel, Netanya. We have gone to Medellin, Colombia. We have gone to Limerick, Ireland. We have gone to Maryland in the US. And
lacrosse only.
Lacrosse, yes. And we have gone, and we're going to Hong Kong next year. Our men's under 19 team is ranked number 9th in the world. Our senior men's team is ranked number 8th in the world. Lacrosse is the highest ranking male team in Jamaica. The highest ranking male team in Jamaica. We get emails and calls daily from coaches in the US asking us to recommend players to join their squad in the US. Now, these are all the opportunities that exist in playing lacrosse.
Okay.
Scholarships and opportunities to represent the country.
Hear you loud and clear. Miss French, Tina, anything you want to say?
And to add to lacrosse, I mean, he's not lying any at all, because they started in 2013. They got registered in 2014. They became a member of the JOA in 2022. It was Mr. Hutchinson, or was it this year?
That's correct, 2022.
2022. So you see that they are moving, and you heard all the places that they have traveled to already. So they are doing extremely well, and we encourage the students who are listening, the persons who are out there. You may not be good at football, you may not be good at track and field, but lacrosse is there. Go and test your skills at it. Scholarships are there for you, just like in the other sports. You have squash, gymnastics. The scholarships, I'm sure, are there for these sports as well. As it relates to fencing, that's just coming into the play, and you can go in, learn the sport. Who knows, you can be in the Olympic come 2028, because I'm not going to say next year. So come 2028, you can be in the Olympic. You know what I'm saying? So we need to get our athletes, our students out there. There are persons who don't want their children to do sport because it's not going to get them anywhere. That's not true. It will get them somewhere. It will get them somewhere. So let them go to these events and find out if they're good at it, because we can't know if we're good at it if we don't try. Yeah?
Well, a fitting note on which to end. Thank you both for joining us in the second watch, as we have been exploring Jamaica's participation in non-traditional sport. Have a productive and safe day.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you very much.
Great.
And thank you to Mr. Hutchinson.
Thank you, listeners, for being with us. For information or get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. Please join Mr. Stokely Marshall next week as he continues to look at the issues of the day. I'm Dylan Toussaint, reminding you to be purposeful, faithful, thankful, and, of course, watchful as I hand you back to Love in the Morning with Chukal Daya.